What's all the PMS with Coach G? It's positively motivating sisters with purpose, meaning, style. Are you ready for positive conversations inspiring you to your next level? Do you need motivation to get you growing? Are you a sister, woman, leader, boss, mom, wife, female, her, she? I think you know what I mean. Are you seeking purpose in your life? Do you know the meaning for which you stand? Do you know your style is your unique authenticator? If you answered yes to any one of these questions, this podcast is designed with you in mind, which embodies the whole you, mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, and spiritually. Sisters, we are on a journey in connecting you from where you are to your what's next with purpose, meaning, style, and it all starts with you. Hi, this is Coach G, your Chief PMS cheerleader, motivating and empowering you to win in your personal and professional life, your connector, guiding you and bridging the gap from where you are to your what's next. I'm your leadership and growth coach strategist, empowerment speaker, author, mom, wife, Christian, and I get to serve you in doing what I am passionate about. You, sisters, we are on a journey for you living your life on purpose, for purpose, with purpose, meaning, style. Thank you. We are in our last 4 episodes for 2023. Can you believe it? And I thank you so much for being in this space with me as you continue to listen every week and share this podcast. Thank you for continuing to show up and continue to be motivated so we can help you create those habits in reaching your success story. So, listen, what I love is, of course, this time when we get to do a countdown is just really fun and like the big reveal, right? But before we begin, I want you to always be reminded that you can financially support this show as we continue to show up, as we continue to have other guests on, as we continue to empower you and other women on their personal and professional growth journey. From the cost of maintaining the show, all you have to do is go to the show description, click on the link, support the show, make a contribution. And this is your voice saying, I stand in support of this podcast, how we serve, what we deliver. You know what? You are being a blessing. So this podcast can continue to bless others. We are in episode 91. And that means that we are in number 4 of the top 5 episodes for 2023. Okay, you know we have to do a drum roll. And number 4 is from episode 61, What's Holding You Back? And I had a special guest on with me. It was Yolanda Whitfield. And one thing that we learned about that, I mean, we learned a lot. So that's why we're going to have the recap. And based on your listening, this was at the top 4. So we are not meant to live as hostages in our lives. You know, we can be held back by fear, trauma, doubt, people pleasing, complacency, and yes, that list can go on. And so, in this space, as we continue to listen, show up, we're choosing to say no in being stuck and stagnant. And yes, to growth. And that growth is the whole you mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, socially, and yes, spiritually. And you know what? Growth starts with you. You know that is our motto here. Growth starts with you. And this conversation is spiritually speaking, nurturing the spiritual aspect of your life. Now, let's listen to the recap and what our listeners, you, have rated as number 4 of the top 5 episodes for 2023 as we talk about getting to the root. You. Now, take a listen.
You have to grow past your pain. You have to press past your pain because you have purpose. And we have purpose in all of our struggles because your mess turns into a message and your test into a testimony. And so we definitely have to grow past those things in order to be who God called us to be. It's not who we ourselves call ourselves to be, it's who God called us to be. Because God says, I have a plan for you. And those plans is to be prosperous. Those plans are to have the life that God calls us to have. And it calls us to go through trials and tribulations in order to get to what God is calling us to be too, because some of us wasn't born with a silver spoon in our mouths. Some of us had to go through deep waters and deep things in order to become these greater things. Some people, was just handed that. But some people had to strive for it. Some people had to press for it. Some people had to dig for it. And that's the reason, and that's the purpose of the roots. And so the cause of pulling out roots in order to get to the different things that we have to go through without having the silver spoon.
I love you said grow past our pain. And then that part of just getting to the root of it, which really brings us into that point of often those can be those things that hold us back. It can be from that pain,
Right.
which is purpose in that pain, that fear, that trauma, that doubt, excuses,
Yeah.
complacency, or I'll say people pleasing, because I am personally a recovering people pleaser. So, you got your hand up
Me
too.
too.
Okay, I'm
Me
not
too.
alone. See, that's why I said we walk this journey together. So often you can feel like you're alone, and that could be something that holds you back. But what would you say are some root issues of what can hold us back from elevating in our lives, living our purpose? What you said, what God has already called us to be, it's already inside of us.
One word. You.
Oh, give me one word. One
One word.
word.
You.
Wow.
It's
Okay.
you. We allow pride, envy, jealousy, people pleasing. We allow all of those things to attack us in such a way that we can't be who we're meaning to be. We can't go forth because when it's time for us to go home, God is going to say, daughter, did you do what I told you to do, not what other people were doing? And so at the end of the day, we have to be pleasing to God, not pleasing to man. We have to be the women and the men who God called us to be. We have to press past all of those things: pride, envy, jealousy, low self-esteem, depression, anxiety, hatred, unforgiveness. We have to press past those things and know that we're greater than those things. So the reason why I say you is one word, because it's you that's holding you up. It's you that's causing, because if we keep putting a person, well, it was my mom, it was my dad when I grew up, it was this person, it was that. No, because then that's causing the unforgiveness. So is you. You the one that don't want to forgive. You the one that don't want to give up. And you the one that want to hold on and harbor all of those things. You the one that is allowing pride to be the best of you to ask for help, to be knowing that you need the help. And so in those things, that's the reason why I said the one word is you.
Okay. So, for somebody that's listening, they're like, wait a minute, what? Because, and no, no, no. And it's amazing. It's awesome. It's truth. It's fact. Because often we are our own selves of us getting in our own way.
Right. We
It's
self-sabotages ourselves. So,
yes. And so you are getting in the way of you. And instead of often maybe that victim
right.
mentality,
Correct.
like you just said, oh, my mama, oh, I wasn't told, okay, stop. It's you.
You.
I mean, that's like a hard truth. And for some, it could be hard to digest depending on what phase they are in their life or what stage they're in their life.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Because when you
ma'am.
tell someone that, it's like, no, it's somebody else's fault.
Mm-hmm.
It's not my own. And it's
Mm-hmm.
not so much a fault, it's just allowing yourself to heal past the pain, to heal past what you said, the low self-esteem, the
Correct.
pride, the envy, the
Yeah.
jealousy, the people pleasing. We both admitted, man, we are recovering people pleasers. And
Because
do
we
I
always
still?
want somebody to be that we want somebody to approve,
Yeah.
or we want somebody to be happy because
Yes.
did those things. We want somebody to accept us
Yes.
of where we are, and all of
Right.
those things is because we haven't accepted ourselves. We haven't been in a place to know that our pleasing should be of God. The first person that should be over anything that we do is God. We haven't been able to place God above everything. And then we say, oh, well, I believe in God, yes, but your actions are in line with what God had called for you to do, because God calls you to have that gift, not you yourself. God is the one that blessed you with those things. And the same God that gave it to you is the same God that can take it away from you. So when you have to get into the you factor, knowing that, okay, Yolanda, yes, my pride got in the way. Yes, Yolanda, I was the one that was always trying to please Peter, Paul, Sam in Georgia, and, and Aretha, and all of them in order to love me. But at the end of the day, sister, brother, whoever's listening to this, love you first.
Yeah. Right. It
And the
start,
rest will come.
I always say, one of my phrases, growth starts with you.
Mm-hmm.
It's not for someone else to come on, do this, do that. We could be motivated by things. And of course, hey, I'm your chief PMS cheerleader,
Yeah.
positively motivating sisters, right?
Right.
But the thing is that even in that, it takes you to take that and do something with it. You take
Absolutely.
charge of it. You take control of it. And we talk about, again, I'm still raining on the people pleasing, because when you said that, it's like getting to the root of that. I recently was a co-author in an anthology, Lioness 2, Prayers and Affirmation for Women Leaders. And the chapter of my title is Stand in Your Queendom Power. And
Mm-hmm.
so I talk about that part of, even in my own personal life,
Mm-hmm.
going from people pleasing to God pleasing. And
Mm-hmm.
it frees you. But
Yes.
but but then getting to the root of what caused that? What
Mm-hmm.
happened? Was I so engulfed in making everyone want to make everyone so happy? Oh, I wanted the applause. I wanted I wanted that. Not that I
Likes.
want all this
Mm-hmm.
attention, but the likes,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But then at the same time, I didn't want all the attention. So where did it really come from? But really digging into the truth of that, I have to say, for me, it was growing up. It's like I just wanted to please my mom. I was a single,
Yeah.
growing up in a single parent home, me and my mom, I didn't want that to be that statistic of a single parent mom, raising a child. No, I wanted to make sure I please my mom, make her happy. What do you want me to do? And then it started bleeding into other areas of my
Yes.
life.
Mm-hmm.
I started making it like, okay, that works here. Well,
Right.
then this will work when I go in the workplace. Oh, this
Exactly.
will work when I'm working in ministry. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
this will work when I'm running my business. But it's like, no, that's not,
That's not it.
it's really not it. It's not healthy. It's really not healthy.
Mm-hmm.
But that's when I really realized it, when I got into that position of, okay, owning a business, being an entrepreneur. It's like, wait a minute, you'll be all over the place,
Mm-hmm.
because guess what? Everybody's not going to like you.
Exactly.
Everybody's not going to agree with you,
Please. Mm-hmm.
but
Exactly.
you have to continue to live in your purpose, thrive in your purpose, move with purpose, and be empowered by that. So, you just said I mean, you went there. And
Mm-hmm.
what else can you say other than you? Nothing.
Nothing. Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing.
So, oh my gosh. So, let me ask you this, how important do you believe the root, when we talk about the root, how
Mm-hmm.
important do you believe getting to the root, which I talk about, that's kind of getting to your why? I always say, understand the why behind what people do.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we'll give a different sense of grace to someone when they say, maybe you need to understand the why.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess what I'm really asking is, how important is it to kind of get to that root and understanding that why. I think they kind of are hand in hand in a sense, the root and the why.
For me, it's highly important. With mental health as high as it is today, your why is very important. Getting to the root is your generational curses, and as you said, Coach G, allowing it to bleed over into other situations in life. Some of us have had trauma coming up as kids. Something happened to us, whether if it was, rape, whether if it was molestation, whether if it was drugs, whether if it was drinking, whatever your what is. And your what is what leads to your why. So we don't want to skip the what, because that's the part of the root. The root is the what caused the root in order to get to the why. And then so when we say what, so we have to identify the what. And that was like when I said the generational curses, the rape, the molestation. That's your what, right? And then so it's not why did that happen to me? Now it's like, now why do I go from there to here in order to get to there? Because your next is, okay, God, I can't ask you, why did you do this? Now it's like, God, how are you going to make this work for your purpose? How are you going to make this work for your plan? How? Because you said, God, that you have the plans for me. So, God, if you told me you have the plans for me, how is that going to work? Not why is it going to work? It's how is it going to work? How are you going to use that for the elevation of what you causing me to go through? Because even though, God, I don't understand everything. I don't understand why you allowed it to happen. I don't understand why it had to happen to me. All I know is that I'm in a place now where I have to get to another place, because I can't stay stuck and I can't stay stagnant in one place. I have to be able to grow to my purpose, because God, you said that I have a purpose. And since you say it so well, you got to do your purpose. Your purpose is what is causing you to get to the what, to the why, and to the how, because you got to go through those different things. So your root, call it out. Call it out. If it's pride, if it's low, whatever your root of it is, if it was your mom, if it was your dad, call out your root, because you have to be the one. Okay, you guys, just picture this for a minute. Now, when God says you have faith as small as a mustard seed, so when you plant that, it's roots that grow. In order to pull out those roots, you got to be able to pull out those roots, because see, sometimes what it is that you got to pull out the roots in order for the weeds to not grow. So when you pull out the root of that pride, when you pull out the root of, I was abandoned, I was rejected, I was all of these things, when you pull it out, you're pulling out saying, no more. It stops with me. No more. It ends with me. And then that's when the weeds don't grow around it, because you're so busy trying to kill the weeds and not pulling out the root. I hope
yeah, pull the root. No more. It's like you killing that, killing those weeds, but you're getting to the root. And I love how you said how. I always talk about, even in my coaching, I always talk about how. It's always that how. How do I get there? From where you are to your what's next. It's all that how stuff. The how. The why is your foundation. The why is, this is why I'm doing it. This is why this means so much to me. This is where I've come from, and this is where I'm growing into. So when you talk about that growth, and honestly, in this part of the segment, we always talk about this podcast being, embodying the whole you as that woman, mentally, physically, emotionally, socially, financially. Did I say physically? And you know what? Spiritually. And clearly, this is all the spiritual aspect aspect of your life, how we nurture, how we grow, looking at things to see how, for someone might listen and say, okay, well, I don't know if I believe that, you know what? But the thing is that we all have our opinion, right? But at the same time, this is a foundation of what this podcast is about. When we talk about the spiritual aspect of your life, how are you nurturing that so it can grow, getting to the root of it? And you talk about the mental, issues that we are really being plagued with,
Yes.
in this society, all over, nationally, everywhere. It's not just in your home, it's everywhere. It was just like when the pandemic happened, it was like everywhere. You
Everywhere.
know what I'm saying? And it becomes, what happens is, it becomes that it's somebody else's fault why I'm here.
Mhm. Mhm.
And it plays in your head over and over and over.
Like a tape
But you
recorder.
got to pull the root,
Mhm.
get to the root of it.
Mhm.
Is it pride? Is it envy? Is it low self-esteem? All those things that you said, and so many more words that we could say that can apply to that.
Right.
But, it's all worth digging into, digging deep,
Mhm.
getting to the root. I like the way you said the what, asking that question, what is the root?
Mhm. Mhm.
Then
Yes.
you move into that why,
Mhm.
which now gives you the how. Okay, now I understand what I need to do and how I need to do it and
Yes.
what's going to work for me and what hasn't worked for me. You know what? I have to do something different. I choose to do something different, and you get to grow.
Mhm.
So let's wrap up with the PMS tip, which is positively motivating sisters with purpose, meaning, style. And we have said motivation, we've talked about purpose. So, I know you're going to have, a tip for us that you can share to empower that woman to get comfortable with being uncomfortable, because it's not comfortable. When you start talking about pulling root, it's not comfortable. Let's just
At
say that
all.
for what it is. It's not comfortable. But
At all.
what can you say? What is that tip that you can share to empower that woman to get comfortable with being uncomfortable so she can continue to move forward and grow?
I will honestly say, ladies, invest in your character, not your comfort. Invest in your character. What do I mean by that? Investing in women retreats, women conferences, Coach G, myself, investing into something that will help you grow, a new Bible, going to church. Invest in yourself, something that will empower you. If you're still stuck in your roots and not understanding, if you're still stuck in unforgiveness, find something that you can invest in to help you get past these different issues that maybe you're holding on to. If you're saying, well, I don't have any issues, then you are definitely stuck, because we all have had them. And Coach G and I still sometimes have them. There is
Yes.
not like that we are so perfect that we can't say that, we are great. No, Coach G and I still have different things that we still ourselves as women go through. Sometimes in her podcast, she may be talking about a specific issue that she's going through personally, but she's investing into talking about those things. Can I be transparent for a moment? That's what we need to do, is start being transparent about
Yes.
what our issues are, being transparent about what we're going through. Because when we are transparent in those things, it helps us heal. It helps us in a healing process, not still continue putting band-aids. Because if you keep continuing to put band-aids over the issue, now you didn't suffocate it and you didn't gave it an infection. right? So it's not just a scar, right? It's not just if I put a scar, on my hand and I put a band-aid on it. These issues of rejection, unforgiveness, low self-esteem, pride, when we keep band-aiding those things and keep band-aiding those things like it's not an issue, like it's not a problem, like it's not, any of those things, and we keep wrapping it up and wrapping it up, we have suffocated it to now it's an infection that now we didn't put something else on top of the infection that we already have, the injury that we already have. And so now, women, we got to get past those things, because at the end of the day, when it's time for God to ask you, daughter, did you do? Because your character is what's going to God. It's not the comfort of buying a car. It's not the comfort of, clothes. And most women like shoes. Most women like to go get their hair done. That's comfort. That's those things that are comfortable. But the uncomfortable is investing in your character.
Let's take the Band-Aid off. Invest in your character, yourself, and not your comfort. That's what she said, right? And because I want you to grow into the woman who finds success in any season of your life, whether that's stepping out of your comfort zone, making new discoveries, elevating in your life and career, evolving as a whole. Which brings me to this moment of inviting you to join the inaugural Queen's Court Society School of Growth membership, which all starts January 2024. And maybe if it's your first time listening and you're saying, well, what is Queen's Court Society? Just to tell you a little bit, it's a personal growth program that I'm launching for the woman who has accomplished a lot in her life. Maybe you've already accomplished some things, or maybe it's the fact that you have, and you're at a point where something's holding you back and keeping you in your comfort zone. So, you know what? What was that saying? Invest in your character, invest in yourself, and not your comfort, but you're seeking to connect where you are and to your what's next with a deeper sense of purpose and intention, knowing that there's more to learn so you can elevate and evolve in your personal and professional growth. And you know what? You're already brilliant, brave, and you stand as a brand of your own. But now you're ready to own your life to new levels. That's getting out of your comfort zone. So, yes, the enrollment is open now. I invite you into it. Come into this community where we are taking it to another level in your life, in your growth, in your life, and your business. Go to the show description, touch the link, Queen's Court Society School of Growth membership, and be a part of this growing community as we continue to support each other, encourage each other, empower each other as that woman leader, as that boss queen, as that entrepreneur, wherever you stand in your life, whatever phase you're in. But we are on this journey to continue to create that meaningful change, and that you can say, you know what, I'm going to choose. I'm making a choice, just like you chose to listen in. You're making a choice to now own your brilliance, braveness, and branding. And so I invite you to the Queen's Court Society membership. Or maybe you're saying, you know what, Coach G, I need a little bit one on one. I offer that as well as leadership growth coaching, keynote speaking. But all you have to do is take the next step. Go to the show description. Let's connect and touch that contact tab, and let's get to work. Let's schedule a time together, that one-on-one, and let's work together. In the meantime, I thank you as you continue to share this podcast with others. I thank you as you continue to show up and listen. And I even thank you in the part of being intentional about your growth. So, sisters, let's continue to share the love, share it forward, and let's continue to be a blessing. And remember, your voice matters. So, share your comments, subscribe, follow, rate the podcast, because that increases our visibility and our reach. And I cannot say thank you enough. And just in that sense of gratitude, thanking you in advance for all the support in whatever you have done along this journey and along this journey of your growth. And in saying all of that, until next time, sisters, let's keep growing because it all starts with you.